cutaneous respiration, it takes place through a simple process called diffusion. The frog excretes nitrogenous waste in the form of urea, hence they are called as ureotelic animals. Heart is covered by a membrane called pericardium. What will be the organs of respiration in frog? It will be through skin, that is called cutaneous respiration. Hello everyone, welcome back to session 11 of this interesting chapter called Structural Organization in Animals. Myself, B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. Hope you remember in my last session, we started off with the type study of frog. All of us know this frog is a very common amphibian that is found around us. And we all know that frog is an amphibian because it can live both on land and water. We also studied about the morphological feature of frog where it has tympanum and it has nictitating membrane and the whole body is divided into head and trunk, and it has forelimbs and hind limbs with webbed feet, and as you know it is having indirect development, having a larval stage in its life history called tadpole larva. So it undergoes a very unique phenomenon called metamorphosis, where the larval form is converted into an adult form, right? So all that important morphological features we have studied in the last session, and also we studied about the digestive system of frog. Now let us study about the next very unique system of this frogs called respiratory system. I think all of us know frog respires through three very important types. So there are three types of respiration in frogs. One is called buccal respiration, three types of respiration, and second one is called cutaneous respiration, and third one is called the pulmonary respiration. So the process of respiration in frog takes place by three very important methods. One is through buccal cavity called buccal respiration, and through skin, moist skin, that is called cutaneous respiration, and through lungs called pulmonary respiration. As I said, it can live in land as well as in water. So what will be the means of respiration when it is in water or it is on land? So in water, frog respires through skin. So hence it is called cutaneous respiration. So whenever, as I said, it is an amphibian, it can live both on land and water, and we all know that frog goes for water to lay eggs, as the process of fertilization is external, that is the fusion of the male gamete with the female gamete takes place in water. So in water, frog respires through skin, hence it is called cutaneous respiration. And exchange of respiratory gases takes place through diffusion. What is diffusion? It is nothing but the movement of gases from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So through cutaneous respiration, it takes place through a simple process called diffusion. So here you can see the nostril, mouth cavity, lungs, and slimy skin for exchange of gases. So mouth cavity, it is called buccal respiration, and through lungs it is called pulmonary respiration, and through skin it is called cutaneous respiration. So it respires to three means, right? One through buccal, pulmonary, and cutaneous respiration. So exchange of respiratory gases takes place through diffusion. So in land, it respires through buccal cavity, skin, and lungs. See, all the three means you come across when it is on land. Then respiration by lungs. See, anything which has to do with lungs, we use the word called pulmonary. So respiration by lungs is called pulmonary respiration. And during aestivation and hibernation, as we already studied in the last session, during the process of winter sleep and summer sleep, or hibernation and aestivation, to overcome this adverse climatic conditions, so during that particular, so it respires when it is in hiding, so it goes inside the burrows to overcome the cold weather or to overcome the extreme heat. So in that case, what will be the organs of respiration in frog? It will be through skin, that is called cutaneous respiration. So the respiratory system is very unique in frogs, as we know that it takes place by three very important means. One, through buccal cavity called buccal respiration, through skin called moist skin, as we already studied that the skin is moist, filled with mucus, and through cutaneous respiration, that is through skin, and through lungs called pulmonary respiration. So in water, frog respires through skin. That is why we use a word called cutaneous respiration. And the exchange of respiratory gases takes place through diffusion. What is diffusion? It is the exchange of gases from the region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. In land, it respires through what? Buccal cavity, skin and lungs, because as usually you find them in hiding in the burrows, etc. Then respiration by lungs, as we said, it is called as pulmonary respiration. And during estivation and hibernation, that is to overcome the adverse climatic conditions as they go for winter sleep and summer sleep. So they live in burrows. So in that case, the process of respiration takes place through skin. So here you can see mouth cavity, that is through buccal cavity, it is called buccal respiration, through lungs called pulmonary respiration, slimy skin for exchange of gases through cutaneous respiration. So here you can see the webbed feet, forelimbs and hind limbs. Now, moving on to the next very important system called circulatory system. So how will the process of circulation takes place in these animals? So we call it as closed circulatory system. As we already studied, there are two circulatory pathways. One is called the closed circulatory system. The other one is called open circulatory system. What do you mean by open circulatory system? Where there is absence of blood vessels. The heart pumps the blood and directly bathes the cells and the tissues in it called sinuses. But in case of closed circulatory system, heart pumps the blood. From there on, it is carried through the blood vessels, namely the arteries and the veins. So the blood vascular system in frog includes heart, blood vessels and blood, hence it is called closed circulatory pathway. The lymphatic system includes lymph nodes and lymphatic vessels. So it is also having the lymphatic vessels. So here you can see the heart, here you can see the heart left. So here it is three-chambered heart with two auricles and one ventricle. Here you can see it is three-chambered heart. Three-chambered heart. So it is called incomplete circulation. So here it is two auricles and one ventricle. So here you can see two auricles, left atrium, right atrium and one ventricle. Then here you can see the arterial trunk, arteries. These are the arteries and these are the veins. Dorsal aorta, sciatic artery, iliac artery, femoral artery, renal portal vein, renal vein. Renal means what? That which carries from the impure blood from the kidney. So renal vein. So here the blood vascular system includes heart, blood vessels and blood. The lymphatic system includes lymph nodes and lymphatic vessels. Heart is three-chambered with two arteria and one ventricle. Heart is covered by a membrane called pericardium. Just like heart is covered by an outermost layer called pericardium. So heart is three-chambered with two arteria and one ventricle, and it is covered by pericardium. A triangular sinus venosus opens into right atrium. Here you can see, and it receives the deoxygenated blood through vena cava. So circulatory system, the blood vascular system includes heart, blood vessel and blood. The lymphatic system includes lymph nodes and lymphatic vessels. Heart is three-chambered with two arteria and one ventricle. Heart is covered by a membrane called pericardium, and a triangular sinus venosus opens into right atrium. It receives the deoxygenated blood through vena cava. The ventricle opens into conus arteriosus on the ventral side of the heart. There is one more. So the ventricle opens into conus arteriosus. From the conus arteriosus, the blood circulated to different parts of the body by arterial system. Blood collected from the body to the heart by venous system. So we use the word called venous, means that which carries deoxygenated blood. What do you mean by deoxygenated? More of carbon dioxide. So blood collected from the body to the heart by venous system. And special venous connection between liver and intestine is called hepatic portal system. See, as I said, a very unique animal is this frog, and that is the reason why it is included for the type study for first PU syllabus. Here you can see how unique it is. So special venous system, venous connection between liver and intestine. Hepatic means what? Hepatic means liver. Portal means supply. So special venous connection between liver and intestine is called hepatic portal system. So the ventricle opens into conus arteriosus on the ventral side of the heart. From the conus arteriosus, the blood is circulated to different parts of the body by arterial system. Blood collected from the body to the heart by venous system. And special venous connection between liver and intestine is called hepatic portal system. Here you can see the same, right? Then venous connection between lower part of the body and kidney is called renal portal system. So kidney, as you know, it is also called as what? Renal gland. It is also called as what? Renal gland. So venous connection between lower part of the body and kidney is called renal portal system, and the blood is composed of plasma and cells. The blood cells are same like human beings, RBC, leukocytes and thrombocytes. RBC is nucleated, right? Whereas in case of humans, it is enucleated and contains hemoglobin, that is the red pigment. It contains the red pigment. The lymph differs from blood. It lacks proteins, that is proteins RBC. So venous connection between lower part of the body and kidney is called renal portal system. The blood is composed of plasma and cells. So the blood cells are erythrocytes, that is RBC, leukocytes, WBC and thrombocytes called blood platelets. So RBC is nucleated and contains hemoglobin. The lymph differs from blood. It lacks proteins. So moving on to the next very important system called excretory system. Here, excretory system is something like, particularly in case of male frog, that is the it is called as urinogenital system. Urinogenital system. Here you can see in this picture, it is called urinogenital system. It is called as urinogenital system. So the excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys. So here you can see a pair of kidneys, right? And kidney is composed of several uriniferous or nephrons. As we know, nephrons are the structural and functional units of kidney. So each kidney is composed of several uriniferous or nephrons. Then the ureter arises from the kidney, act as urinogenital duct which opens into the male, in male. So hence we use the word called urinogenital system. That is, the ureter arises from the kidney, acts as a urinogenital tract, common tract for carrying the sperms, male gametes. But in female, the ureters and oviduct open separately into the cloaca. But in case of male, it is a common aperture. But thin-walled urinary bladder located ventral to rectum opens to the, here you can see the urinary bladder. Here you can see the urinary bladder. So thin-walled urinary bladder located ventral to the rectum opens into the cloaca. The frog excretes nitrogenous waste in the form of urea, hence they are called as ureotelic animals. As we know, the nitrogenous waste that is eliminated by the frogs is in the form of urea. So as we already studied, animals have been broadly classified into ammonotelic, ureotelic and uricotelic based on the elimination of the nitrogenous waste. If the nitrogenous waste is in the form of urea, it is called ureotelic animals. If the nitrogenous waste is in the form of uric acid, it is called uricotelic animals. If the nitrogenous waste is in the form of ammonia, it is called as ammonotelic animals. So as we know that ammonia is highly toxic, uric acid is least toxic, and urea is less toxic. So the excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, ureters. So here you can see the two ureters, kidney, ureter, then cloaca. Here you can see the cloaca, urinary bladder, right? Then here you can see cloaca and urinary bladder. Each kidney is composed of several uriniferous or nephrons. Then the ureter arises here from the kidney, acts as a urinogenital duct which opens in male. In female, the ureters and oviduct open separately. So that is why in males we call it as urinogenital system. But in females, the ureters and the oviduct open separately into the cloaca. So thin-walled urinary bladder located ventral to rectum opens to the cloaca. The frog excretes urea as the nitrogenous waste, hence it is called ureotelic animals. Hope you have understood the respiratory system and the excretory system in case of frog. So this animal called frog, which is an amphibian, has almost all systems so very meticulously designed for this particular animal, and that is the reason why we call this frog as a very unique animal. So I'll be back in the coming session with some more interesting concepts of this particular animal. Till then, goodbye and thank you.